I'm Jared, and I'm joined by Chris Navarro from Other Ocean Interactive. He's part of the team behind 4 Penny Coffins. Chris, welcome.
Thank you. How's it going?
It's going good today. I'm excited about telling people about this game. We've been showing a lot of little teasery stuff. It's finally time to give them some of the meat of what this thing's about. So let's start with the important stuff. What's the beating heart of 4 Penny Coffins?
Okay, so 4 Penny Coffins is a horror detective game at its core. So the idea behind it is that I want players to feel like they're Sherlock Holmes investigating a supernatural crime. And the horror elements that we're trying to layer on top of all of this ideally allow us to build all of this tension and momentum behind every session, and players will sense that and feel that and have fun with it. I just want players to be able to interact in the setting of paranoia, a game filled with paranoia, a game that scares you, and because you're scared, you can make so many mistakes on the things that you say and that you do in the game. Underneath it all, it's just that detective horror core that I want to exploit for every player.
At PAX, a lot of people gravitated toward the Ripper character. Tell us a bit about the Ripper.
So, it's funny, I was very ambivalent about the reveal of the Ripper in any form of marketing materials, because I wanted that to be a surprise, but at the same time, I think once we had the design down, we realized there's just so much potential in how it looks and how it feels on those materials that we decided we had to put it front and center of all the campaigns, because it's just that striking. It's an interesting character to look at, right? From a mechanical perspective, from a game mechanic, I think people will be able to play the Ripper and portray their own intentions into that character. The way that it is designed is it's not plain, but it leaves enough of a blank slate for the players to be able to project their intentions, their thoughts into the character when they're playing with it. And so that's yet another way in which we're hoping that we're going to build that tension and that storytelling tool. We want players to be able to use the Ripper as a tool, not to be dictated from the game, but by the player. And so those two things combined, I think for the Ripper alone, they're just interesting to people, but definitely the looks and then also the way that the game looks, it's so striking that it immediately catches the attention of everyone.
The art style of 4 Penny Coffins also caught a lot of eyes at PAX. We heard a lot about that when we were there. What can you tell us about the design direction for the artwork, and how did you capture those kind of creepy vibes?
Okay, so I don't know, I'm gonna be plugging something here, but like From Hell, this novel, it's a graphic novel by Alan Moore. It's about Jack the Ripper, and I am a huge fan of that work. When I first started iterating on the concept of 4 Penny Coffins, I wanted a game that felt like that novel. But then as I started to do more research and started to go under the so to speak, under the knife of who and what Jack the Ripper was, I, of course, started to see all the news clippings that they had from the Times. In all of those news clippings, I'm pretty sure people can probably recall them from memory, but they're like black and white or sepia tone, and they're all cartoons, because obviously photography was not prevalent at the time. And so I also wanted a game to feel like that, like you're playing inside that world of one of those sketches, because it is so unnerving and so creepy to see that. When you take a look at it, it's striking, like you said. And so I think the goal was to make our world striking and unnerving and scary so that players could come in and feel that same vibe. Yeah, that was it was basically a lot of what came through the research of when I was reading the novel and the newspaper articles at the time.
Actually, that's kind of leads up to my next question. I imagine for a game like this, you kind of have to do a ton of historic research on like old London,
Yes.
Whitechapel, and serial killers. What did you discover that made its way into 4 Penny Coffins?
Well, there were a few things actually, besides the art style. One of the biggest things that I noticed in doing the research was, and this is actually still true today, at the time when the Jack the Ripper murders were going on, a lot of the fears that stem from society that was living that, that horror, a lot of the fears were the people's fears projected onto the crimes that were being committed. And as an example, a lot of people blame people from other socio-economical backgrounds, different religions. There was a lot of blame on put on those things. And so one of the things that I wanted to bring from that is that projection. So whoever is playing as the Ripper in the game is able to project their intentions into it and play accordingly. And that also goes really well into the social investigation aspect of things, because people have biases, people have their own opinions on how things happen or what they see and what they do, and I want all of that. I guess you could consider that to be projections as well, and I wanted all those projections to kind of clash at one point with each other when the social investigation loop starts. So yeah, I think there's the projection of your own intentions, which is something that happened at the time, and it's something that happens now as well. That was one of the biggest things that I wanted to bring in from that whole concept.
Make the case for playing 4 Penny Coffins in like one sentence.
It is a scary, fun time that will also make you feel like you're Batman in 1888.